Between Christmas Eve and Boxing Day is by far the most hectic time in the North Pole, especially if you're one of the reindeers in Santa's Keep. During the few days around Christmas, it's impossible to do anything else but work, work, work. So many tasks and jobs to be done. And the essence of the magic is in manifold things. The gift of flight, for instance, is given to the chosen reindeers who are to pull the sleighs around the earth. They are also given supernatural strength for a number of days, as well as the gift of speech. During the rest of the year, the reindeers are usually kept busy with normal everyday things in the North Pole, where special events are organised like reindeer races, which culminate in the Santa Cup that is run during the springtime, and other events like the Antler Show Day, when all the stable elves have to present their best reindeer for a parade, and then the Fairy Carnival Day, and Be Kind to an Elf Week. So you can see, during the year, the reindeers and the elves are always very close together and good friends in everything that they do. Ruby the reindeer is by one of many reindeers, but probably one of the oldest of Santa's team, and Ruby could map the earth by stars and navigate almost blindfolded at times. It knows its way around so well. Navigation from one point to another is a simple task for Ruby, and all she has to do is to gaze around at a particular part of the sky, and she knows where to go. Everyone is very impressed and respects Ruby, and they count on her expertise during the year and her guidance with the delivery on Christmas Eve. No one had ever rung the warning bell before, as far as Titch could remember anyway. But with less than a week before the sleigh was to be loaded, Ruby's disappearance was now starting to worry many of the elves and the reindeers. So Titch stood under the huge bell and started to tug the cord, and the noise of the bell sent shivers through him. Santa came running from the main office up towards the house, and when he got to the bell, Santa was breathing very hard. After a moment, what? Just let me catch my breath. Titch, tell me, whatever is the matter?
Ruby's gone missing, Santa.
What? Santa said. The stable elf continued to explain the situation to Santa more and more. Elves and more reindeers were starting to rush towards Santa's house to see what the problem was and why the bell had been rung. But Santa said, "Okay, everybody, it's much too busy for us all to look for Ruby, so you can all get back to your duties until I return. Stay together in groups of 5, 3 elves, 2 fairies, and a reindeer." Santa went into his house and took a large red suit and put on his big black boots and walked off towards the glacier peak that seemed to be still fresh enough in its snow-laden tracks, and he could follow the footsteps that were still there in the snow. One night in the stable, all the reindeers were a little worried because no one's seen Ruby around. She was a bit off colour. So Titch and some of the stable elves came together and had a bit of a talk about their concern about Ruby. It's a well-known fact that elves and reindeers are connected with the same thought patterns. They not only communicate in such a way, but they have an uncanny way of feeling similar emotions at the same time.
"Whatever's the matter?"
said Titch to Blixen and Donna.
"Ruby's been missing all day,"
said Donna.
"It's just not like her to disappear with no reason,"
said Blixen. A few other reindeers added a word or two. Ron said, "A word in Santa's ear might not go astray." Rex replied,
"Yeah, you're right. They're all right, Ron. It's not like her to just get up and go like that without a word said. It just doesn't make sense."
Prancer nodded, and sort of pranced around a bit.
I didn't want to say anything before, but during the spring I noticed Ruby often taking little trips around where we were having the races, and she usually was back before dark. I just thought she needed some time out or something. I don't know, never spoke, never told nobody, but I guess I should have maybe said something before now.
Vixen, the reindeer, said, I might be wrong, but again, you never know. I've heard about reindeer illness. It's called sundowning, I think. Will they wander off and never return? Tits the elf tried to calm things down, and he said,
Let's not panic just yet. It's not Christmas for another week yet. I'll go and speak to Santa and see what can be done.
Immediately Titch went off to the toy factory, but was told Santa was much too busy to talk to anyone. If it was urgent, maybe an appointment could be made. The elf was a little disappointed that he never got to speak to Santa, so because it was an emergency, Titch decided to do something that no one had ever done before, to ring the warning bell outside Santa's house. Santa had a very special torchlight that showed up the footprints in the snow, and sure enough, there they were, reindeer's tracks all right. And it was dark and cold on the snowy wilderness, and Santa tried to keep himself amused by singing little tunes and talking to some unknown companion. Oh, for a little peace on earth, he said. The big man walked through the night and another day and another. Now it was close to Christmas Eve, and Santa had finally caught up and saw a glimpse of Ruby. The reindeer was climbing up the glacier peak. Ready or not, here I come, he whispered. And then he tried to climb up the glacier. He slipped now and then on the way, and his boot came off, and as he tried to lace it up, it fell from his hand and skidded all the way down to the bottom of the glacier. Oh, well, that's a shame, he said as he called Ruby by name. Ruby! Ruby! Santa caught sight of her as she turned around, and then she darted off, and down she went. Running after that reindeer on a ground so white, slippy and cold was difficult, as he had only one boot, and one boot off, and the trail of Ruby's tracks to follow that were still fresh and easy to follow, but still hard to chase after. He followed all through the night until the light of the morning, and then he saw in the morning a new star in the sky that hovered above the place where his missing reindeer was. He called her again by name, Ruby, and she pretended not to hear. Again he made his way closer to her along the snowy path. He walked close to the edge of the glacier peak, and as she played hide and seek with him, jumping from ledge to ledge in the hope he would somehow turn back, which he didn't, because he would never give up chasing Ruby, he set his face toward her and relentlessly kept after her. Ruby! Eventually, Santa came to a dugout snow cave, where there he saw Ruby dive inside. He made his way in after her and quietly stood, and what a beautiful sight he saw right there in front of his very eyes. What a surprise, for there was Ruby's little fawn. Santa knew then all right why Ruby had hidden her baby away. The little fawn had a nose that shone so bright. She was afraid. Ruby was so afraid that all the other reindeers would make fun of her little fawn. Santa smiled and patted the fawn on the head. Then he said, Oh, look at you. Aren't you the beautiful one indeed? Oh, my reindeer friend, with the nose so bright. For goodness sake, look at you. Have you got a name for her, Ruby? Ruby stood so proud and said,
Her name is Rudolf.
Santa then replied, Oh, ho, 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 it is a joy I've found today. A joy indeed that would make thee so proud. Would you do me a favour? with your beautifully bred reindeer," called Rudolf. "Would you promise that you will grant me your reindeer when she grows? I'd be honored if she would guide the way on my sleigh, because it is on Christmas Eve that I would like her to be on the front of my sleigh." In that moment, something rare had occurred. The special gift of flight and strength was given to Ruby and to Rudolph. Suddenly Rudolph's nose shone so bright, and Santa climbed onto Ruby's back, and as they left the cave, the reindeers leapt into the starry sky and made their way back to Santa's house. There was no time to spare, as all the toys were packed, and this sleigh was about ready to go. And how proud Ruby was on that first Christmas Eve flight, on that night, as Rudolph took place on the front with the other reindeers, old enough to fly, old enough to touch the sky. As the sleigh made its way across the earth that night, and in the morning light a glow of happiness shone from every child's face in every place in every town where the grace had landed during the night, with presents and gifts for every child. Rudolph was chosen to be the one of the few, and Santa's keep. And from that day on, all other reindeers knew how much Rudolph was loved and cherished. The end.